Meeting is being recorded.
Go ahead, Sarah.
Okay. This is the main view for the designer, but as you can see here, we have an actual data. It's just dummy, but it's just to demonstrate the action and some of the components that will be included in any action. As you can see here, this screen contains 3 parts. This is the left part. This is the controller for the actions and the functions or the component. In the center of the screen, we have the canvas that contains any action that we are creating or importing or insert from this side of the screen. And if we click on any component or the action that's appearing here, there should be a side menu that will have the attributes. Even if we select the action, it will show the action attributes. If we select any of the component or functions inside this action, we can see here the component attributes here in the same side. So let's go to the controller to see the inside details. We have here the search for any action and function. This search will search all the list in here and on this side. For the actions, I mean this container that will contain the components. User can insert custom action that will be empty, of course, or can import a previous action by clicking on this button. And also he can select one or many actions that we have in previous topology. We have here the list of the topology that users have access for. We have the action name and the topology name or the package name that has this action, and user can add one or many as I mentioned, and just insert this, and we have one or many actions in this canvas. And of course, if this action have, but Yuri, please correct me if that's okay. I mean, if user insert a previous action that has components or functions, the insert should include its component or only the action.
If you create a new action.
No, I mean if I select from other packages.
From other packages, it should include everything, all the components, okay. And all the components and all the artifacts should be included.
Okay. Okay. And this for the import, of course.
Yes, that's for the import.
Okay. And below the action section, we have the functions that list all the components that is listed from this package. We have list of the components here. User can drag and drop only one component at a time. The drag is not working as it will be from the dynamic side later. But if user can drag any component from the list to the function or to the action here. And once he drag it to this action, we will see it like that. We have an icon that demonstrates this type of components and the component name and its type. Here we have four types, and of course this is just dummy data. but we have it from the template we have for the CDS, the template we are working on. Once the user drag any component from this list to the action container, there should be the side menu will start to appear with the attributes of this component. It's not listed yet, but all the components, all the attributes will be here, like the artifact, interfaces, properties, and all other attributes that relates to this type of component. And of course, each component has a type of list of attributes that relates to its type. And it will appear here, and of course once we click close, it will return to the full view of the action. Up here we have edit bar, we have undo and redo. Here you can zoom in and zoom out, and the current view is the view. We will see the designer view, and by clicking on the source we will see the whole source of this package. Just a few. And Nuri, please, this will be a viewer or for the source code or an editor too. I think we discussed this. We'll support the editor too.
That's correct.
Okay. Okay, that's all from here, and of course we can slide. We can toggle the controller to have full view of the designer. And of course we can just see the action only, or the action and the attribute side. Up in here we have we can go to the packages directly, or go to the configuration screen by clicking on the package name in here. And we have list of other actions. We have preview that will show only the actions inside this package without any edit mode, and we can download the file from here or share the link that with others that contains only the preview. And this button we can save the changes and or save and deploy.
Sarah, do we have like a document with a screenshot of all what you are showing now? I would love to run this by some of our internal customers, maybe if they have feedback or.
Actually, you don't have a component, but we don't have a documentation, but we have the prototype that you can see all the screens from this from the designer.
Okay.
Well, of course, the other components in the CDS.
Okay.
I think I can even send it to share it with other people.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, sure. Okay, so is there any feedback for the current status?
Any questions for what has been presented so far? Sounds no questions so far.
Okay.
Do you have anything else to share?
Yes, Yuri, but it's not done yet. But I think I will send it to you this today. I've listed all the attributes that we have for the designer, even for the workflow or the action and the node template. I just want to make sure that I am demonstrating it the same as you that you consider from the early stages. I just here just listing all the inputs that we have and the type that I think we should provide it. As you can see here, just an example for the function. We have here just this type of components. For the interface, we have an input for will appear it like a menu, and user can select from the menu and search within this menu. This file I will share it with you later to make sure that all inputs are aligned with your requirements.
Can you? I don't know if you have time. Can you kind of go a little bit deeper to specify what inputs, what this means?
Okay, I will show it to you with the template I have in here.
Yeah.
Okay. I've used the template I have to find all the types we are dealing with in these attributes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, as you can see here in the workflow, we have this type of workflow that contains the attributes, setups, and inputs and outputs. As you can see here, it listed setup and inputs and outputs for the setup for this workflow. Here we have name. So I will add name that that will be entered in an input text. This is the type of the input I will use. Okay.
Can you go back? Hold on. So you're saying, okay, so I think I'll have to give you rules. It shouldn't, what I'm trying to say, what you have shouldn't be like hard-coded to resource assignment. It should be like a general model that allows us to create any custom workflow action, okay?
Okay.
If you want to create any custom workflow action, it includes steps, inputs, and outputs.
Okay.
Steps have to define, like, what is the instance name of the step? What is the description? What is the target? That is all part of the model itself.
Yes.
It's not hard. So you need only one model to do this. You don't need a model for each of the components. We don't want to hard code this.
I mean, as you can see here, for the inputs, I found two types of data that require different data, as you can see here. That's why I listed all the inputs to see if.
Can you show me? What do you mean by different data?
This is this one, the inputs.
Yeah.
I have two types of inputs. The one that requires name and required if this input is required or not, and the type of the input and the interest schema. The other one was requiring the name and description and whether it's required or not, and the type only. That's why.
So all of this is supposed to be kind of defined by the user. So meaning that once they type the property name, then they can select what is the is it required? What is the type? Entry schema, is it supported? So all of those should be options, and the user should select it. So what I'm trying to say, for each parameter definition, there's a model, there's a supermodel, and from that supermodel, you either define everything or you define a subset.
Okay.
Okay, but everything is a model. You need to do it only one time, and you don't need to do it. You don't need to do it. Define this differently for different actions.
I thought that we have that's related to the type. So if user select this type of component, the inputs will relate to it, and he can use whether this type or this input or that input.
No. It's I can come here and do anything I want. It's free form. As long as I adhere to the model, we should be good.
So we don't have a default input that is required.
We have it. We have it. There are inputs that are required, but I can also add additional inputs, and it's free form. As long as I follow the Tosca standard for defining inputs in CDS, I'm okay.
Okay, but don't we have any element that can set a default form?
Say it again.
Can we have can we set, is there any common thing that we can set a specific form for this type? I mean, if I select if I reference the input for something, that so we will have this type of inputs or that type of inputs.
Right. That's what I want. I want to define one model that allows you to the UI to provide different type of forms for the user to fill out to render that information.
Okay. Do you have any document that contains all type of inputs?
Why don't we spend some time on this? There is some information like what are the, because with CDS you can define any type of input, right? It could be a input of primitive data type or complex data type, right? And then you are defining required or is it optional, and then you have a description. That's basically the premise of all the of all you have to do when you define a input definition.
Okay. Okay.
So it's just types of form. One is for primitive data types and one is for complex data types. And complex data types, the only thing they have is entry schema definition. They all have to say, is it required or is it optional? And a descriptor.
Okay. Okay, that's it for this template.
So I will say that let's spend some time on this because we want to make sure that we define one model and the UI is able to render that model for different type of behaviors, for input definition or output definition, or even for step definitions.
Okay. Okay, sure.
Okay. Shaban, did you want to share any updates with us? Sorry, you don't have any other updates, right? I think this was it?
No, that's okay. That's all.
Okay. Do you want to share anything with the team? Sarah, I don't see
I'll
Arun.
check him.
I'll check with her to see where she is, if she's able to make progress.
Okay.
I'll get back to you. And I know Mike, Mary, Paula, have you guys? I know you have. I believe have access now to the UI. Is that correct?
Yes, Yuri. We're working on just getting the blueprint processor up right now. We had some issues with Docker installs last week, but we're past that. So we're just, at the tail end of trying to get that up and running.
Okay, very good. Once you have the blueprint processor up as well, can you guys let me know, and we will then, see what is the best item to pick up as well.
Sure.
All right, excellent. Sarah, anything else you wanted to share?
No, Yuri, that's all for today.
Okay, Ali, anything else you want to share?
No, I'm good. I'll just wait for the prototype. I'll run it internally with a few folks.
Okay, Ali, if you need a separate session to go over any details, let us know. We can have that as well.
Maybe if once they look at it, we can have a session together for the feedback. So I'm just not the middleman relaying the feedback.
Okay. You can also extend them the invite.
Sure.
For this
will
call.
Do. Is it a recurring call, this one?
I'm gonna make it a recurring call. It's not a yeah.
Okay.
Tanner, do you have any updates to share? No, I don't. Thank you. All right. Anyone else?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Actually, we are working in the front-end Angular project. I submitted the skeleton project, and Brenda has the comment about we are using the image of contributors. I deleted the at the current state, and we need to merge this batch.
I'm gonna make sure we merge. Hey, no problem, Shaban.
Yes.
I'll talk to Dan and Brenda today, and we'll merge it.
Yes, because we are, me and Ahmed, Abbas, and Sarah are working in the same project. We are using GitRepo. So we will have a lot of things to do to take this changes to the Git. So we need immediately merge this commit. If yeah, yeah if the reviewer reviewing is okay, by the way. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I look at the reactive how to make the reactive endpoints as the Brenda suggestions at the last meeting. Uh, I think that we need to have different stages, like we should have the database reactive, and we till now we didn't have the Maria or MySQL reactive jar supported by Spring. So we will postpone something like that we should using the reactive programming. Okay, that's all from my side.
Very good. So Shaban, I'll talk to Dan and make sure he merges that patch so that you can continue to work on it as well.
Yes.
If you
Okay.
have anything else that is like a stopper for you or a blocker, let me know as well. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. All
Thank
right.
you.
If there is no more updates, I will go ahead and close out the call, and I'll make this recurrent call so that we can meet at a regular time. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great day, and I'll send out the recording as well. Thank you. Bye bye.